Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf.
I'm CD Spivey.
And this is Censored Freedom. How you doing this week, Bubba?
Pretty good.
Well, I said this week, 2 days ago, we did a show, so...
Yeah, here we go again.
Every couple of days, I'm loving it. We got a lot to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. Namely, the British are coming.
The British are coming. Are we the new Paul Revere's?
I think we may be, by God. But apparently, the Labour Party in the UK has been sending individuals to the United States.
So the commie shitheads.
Yeah, basically, to help Harris.
Yeah. Which, wait, that's foreign...
That sounds like foreign election interference to me.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Weren't they blaming Trump of that stuff, like the Trump-Russia shit, right?
Yeah.
And then they're just coming out and saying it.
And, you know, what's even... To hell with Russia. To hell with Russia, we got England interfering. You know, there's a reason we left England, right?
Yeah. Tyrannical asshole king that was... basically holding us down. So
exactly.
And then we, look, we've already driven their freaking corpses into the Gulf of Mexico, as you heard the song say. Here, just to,
right.
We've already done that once. Do we need to fucking do it again?
Do we need a round two?
Yeah, you want a 2.0?
Do we need to have a tea party?
There you go. Yeah. Hey, there is one.
Start throwing stuff off in the river again. Something. I don't know. Maybe we need to do something because apparently England has decided that they want to interfere in American elections. And it's not even so bad. It's bad. But it's not so bad that they're doing it this time. What's bad is when the UK Labour Minister was pushed for a response to this. You'd think it'd be like, no, we're not doing that. You're crazy. No. Here was his response.
They fucking admitted it.
Labour Party volunteers have gone to the U.S. pretty much every election cycle. I'm sorry, what?
Bruh.
I'm sorry, what?
Labor meaning like the leftists, the Democrats. These are labor. It does not mean working people. Okay? So let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. Labor does not mean working people over there.
How long have they been interfering in our elections is what really comes to mind for me.
Was it really Russia or was it Britain?
Was it England?
Yeah.
It may have been. Were they the ones helping to sway the votes electronically? We don't know.
I'll tell you what. And not only that, a while back they were also talking about how they were going to extradite people that were saying harassing things on
right.
Twitter and all that stuff.
Things they don't like.
And I'm like, make sure you wear red.
Yeah, come on over and try that, buddy. I don't know if you forgot, we drew up this little thing called the Constitution, right?
Declaration of Independence. How about that? And
at that point, we were no longer a part of Britain. We were our own country. Mm-hmm. So ain't no other country going to come over here and say, we're taking your citizens. That means for war, right?
Yeah. You're not... I'm sorry, but if British police show up at my door... you'll never see them again.
Well, what's interesting about British police? They're armed with a stick.
Yeah.
That's their major weapon.
What did Yamamoto say
stick.
Again? They'll end up in a trash bag in the woods somewhere. You don't do that. You don't do that stuff around here.
There are places that I know of that have pig farms, and
I wouldn't abuse the pigs like that.
True.
Because if you feed a pig a human body, it ruins the pig. Because the pig gets high cholesterol and basically gets sick,
I don't know them Englanders there. They don't eat a whole lot of good food anyway. You might be right.
Oh,
you might be right.
Look at their teeth. They look like mine.
Well, that'd be the only thing left. But if these guys were to come over, say, one of these pig farmers that you and I know, and say, you're going to jail because you said something online and we didn't like it in England, I don't think that would end well.
There would be copper and brass on the ground.
Yeah.
You don't FAFO, homie. You don't come over here and do that stuff again. You're not extraditing me anywhere.
And it goes back also to those Five Eyes. Do you remember the Five Eyes?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. How they were, basically the CIA was having, Great Britain spy on us and we were spying on them. Because they couldn't spy on, the CIA couldn't spy on us.
Right.
I mean, they are.
Officially couldn't.
They are. They are. But,
they are. They are.
But they weren't supposed to. So, they were kind of, and that story came out, last year?
Yeah. Well, a couple years ago, actually. Five Eyes came out a couple years ago.
So,
but
yeah, you mofos play around. Come on over here. This is America. This ain't the UK. We're not playing that game.
And who are they helping again? It isn't Trump.
The Democrats.
Right. So if Trump does nothing, he gets accused of election interference with Russia. But if the Democrats actually use election interference with England, the mainstream media is crickets.
We're not using a Steele dossier to bring this to you. Okay, we're not. This was not paid for. This story was not paid for by Trump
or any Republican.
They're being honest about what they're freaking doing.
I couldn't believe his response, man. I expected no, we're not doing that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
we wouldn't interfere with elections.
At least have enough respect for us to lie.
Right, at least pretend you're innocent. Come on now. But they were very blatant about it. Yeah, we've been doing this for years. It's no problem. Why are you making such a big deal about it? That seemed to be the whole.
The second part of this that'll piss you off is, yes, they were talking about misinformation and disinformation, which basically means speech they don't like.
Right.
So
censorship.
they want to kill Musk's Twitter or X and timeout. Thank you, X, for giving us the platform that you give us.
110%.
To be able to run our mouth about the UK.
Freely.
Fuck you, UK. And
giving a real town square to speak at.
Yeah. Letting us exercise. All we have is Rumble and X right now. They're the only free platforms that we can speak our mind on. BitChute. Yeah, okay, BitChute. But I'm not on BitChute. I mean, I should be. But they've
got a lot of issues, not going to lie. They get attacked a lot. They have a lot of issues with keeping video quality, keeping videos running. Mm-hmm. From a user's standpoint, I use Rumble more just because it's more stable. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. But there's BitChute, truthfully.
So X and Rumble, thank you very much for giving us the freedom to do this. And I'm not going to relinquish that freedom easily.
Well, think if the tables were turned. What if the United States said, there's a company in Britain that has a social media company. Let's put Twitter over in Britain. Same situation. And America said, you've got to censor these people or else.
The Crown wouldn't have it.
No. They would absolutely lose their minds. They would threaten war, threaten sanctions, tariffs, everything in the world to hurt America if we were to do that to them.
Yep.
But it happens to us, and we're supposed to act like, oh, it's no big deal. It's no problem.
The thing with UK and tariffs is we don't tariff a lot of their stuff to the way they tariff our stuff.
Oh, absolutely not.
I mean, try buying a Corvette in Great Britain. Yeah, that's a bitch.
I got a buddy who likes a lot of American things.
Try buying a KTM in America. It's easy.
Absolutely.
I actually have. I mean, the motorcycle that I own is part KTM. I mean, it's I think the engine is KTM.
Right.
So it's pretty damn easy and pretty cheap to get a KTM in America. But it's freaking outrageous to go get a Harley in Great Britain.
And I got a buddy that, and you're talking about bigger ticket items, and that's very true.
I mean, Harleys are already ridiculously expensive.
Right. I mean, here in America, they're still stupid price. So, but even smaller stuff. I got a buddy who was looking for an apron, just a simple leather apron. He's not a mason. It ain't like that. But he just wanted a simple leather work apron, right? And he wanted one that was produced here in America.
You know, if you lay concrete, you're a mason.
He doesn't. What if you lay pipe? Are you a plumber?
No, you're just another dude with a willing woman, I guess.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, no, the other part. Oh, sorry.
But I totally lost my train of thought on that, so thank you for that.
You
screwed me up big time on that one.
Oh,
I have
you're welcome.
no idea where I was going with that at all.
You're welcome. But yeah, the censorship is getting out of control and threatening American citizens.
Yes.
And threatening Musk with fines and imprisonment. And they were going after Musk as well. They wanted, like, if he ever came to Great Britain, they were going to arrest him.
Well, the other day they said, we'll start going after your other companies too if you don't do what we say.
Yeah, and then not only that, you've got
to be fair, that may have been the
federal
EU.
government. You've got the federal government that is going after Trump in certain ways. And what's really jacked up is the federal government needs Trump right now. They need Trump's rockets. Because Trump needs to go up and rescue those people up there at the space station, right?
Right.
Okay. Why are you fucking with him then?
You mean Musk?
Musk. Why are you
You had me confused for a minute.
Why are you
there.
fucking with him then? Why are you doing this to him? You need his rockets to go up and rescue people. You should be kissing his ass.
Because
but no, you have to go after him over censorship.
Well, that's easy because they're Americans. Our government don't give a shit about Americans. They're not Ukrainian. They're not an immigrant.
Yeah.
They're not Hamas. So our government don't give a shit about them. They're Americans.
Well, I thought, some of the people up there at the space station, I thought was international.
But the internationals aren't the one that's stuck. The Americans are.
Huh. So another rocket can go up and get the international people, but not the Americans?
Yeah.
That is fucked.
I mean, they could get the Americans if they wanted to, but, you know. Our government could if they wanted to. Make no mistake. If they really wanted to do something up there, they could get it done by next week.
NASA, I do believe, is a hollow shell of itself, right? Isn't NASA basically...
It's become a lot less
defunct right now?
Yeah, it's become a lot less.
I mean, the federal government funded this archaic shuttle system, and that shuttle system stayed the same way for 40 years.
And then when they had an accident, just shut the whole thing down.
Well, when the Columbia finally blew up, all of a sudden everything went to crap. But they could never do what SpaceX did.
Oh, they could never. No, SpaceX has done made so many accomplishments. The other week, he brought a booster back and caught it with basically the equivalent of chopsticks. Right? Like,
it landed itself so it could be reused.
Yes. NASA never did anything like that.
No. What NASA does is splashes it into the freaking ocean, let it sink, and go, build another one.
Exactly. Which costs hundreds of millions of dollars, which is wasting taxpayer money.
Yeah, but we got it, right? We got it.
Oh, yeah, we got it.
We got it.
I mean,
just put it in the budget.
I believe we went to the moon, but I see how, looking at some of the stuff, people go, yeah, maybe we didn't actually.
Did we?
I think we did, but I don't know. There's...
Yeah,
I'm actually a minority in that one.
Oh my God, this stuff is so ridiculous, man.
What's ridiculous, speaking of the media, as we did a moment ago, the leftist media is making another play at Trump.
Yeah. More propaganda, more horse shit. And they have no other play right now.
No.
They're desperate. They're crazy.
It's October. We're, a week and a half, 2 weeks out from Election Day?
This is nuts, man. And this actually came out a while back, but it's just now coming to, there's finally the light being shined on it. The Atlantic, the reporter for the Atlantic, propagandist, whatever
that
you want to call him. Okay, Jeffrey Goldberg, a freaking dirtbag, but he's got
the poor man's sick.
He's got terminal TDS.
It's sad. It's a sad state of affairs, my friend.
And there's no cure.
None that we've found so far.
His brains are gone.
They deteriorate so quickly.
Well,
at a certain stage, it's crazy.
He reported 2 statements that Trump made. The first one is, and this is what you have written down is not the exact statement. What he actually said is, it doesn't cost $60,000 to bury a dead Mexican, and this is about that young girl who was murdered on Fort Hood.
Right.
And now the sister of that young girl comes out and defends Trump and says Trump was, a gentleman and offered to pay, for the death gratuity, which actually the military, I think, took care of. There was usually it's $100,000 is what they get.
Right.
For a death gratuity.
Mm-hmm. Which is nothing anymore. If you've ever planned a funeral, that's nothing.
If you're not deployed and you are permanent party in garrison, $100,000 is all you're going to get. If you're deployed, it's anywhere from $400,000 to $500,000.
Really?
Yeah. I had mine up at $500,000 because I was hostile fire pay, danger pay.
Right.
I was in a war zone. I was actually in a war zone.
You were in the war zone at the time.
I was not in garrison behind the fences. I was driving
out in the zone.
In the war zone driving. So, once you're doing that and you are getting, small arms fire at you, IEDs, you're going to want
a higher insurance level, if you will.
You're going to want to guarantee that your family, if something does happen, that your family's taken care of. So
I've got the sister's exact quotes here.
Yeah.
And it's not in the Atlantic, so it's probably going to be, real. It says, I don't appreciate how you're exploiting my sister's death for politics. Hurtful and disrespectful to the important changes she made for service members. She went on to say President Donald Trump did nothing but show respect to my family and Vanessa. In fact, I voted for President Trump today, end quote.
Booyah.
She says, after having dealt with hundreds of reporters in my legal career, this is unfortunately the first time.
Oh, this is the lawyer. Yeah.
Oh, is this the lawyer?
That was the now. Yeah, you're talking.
Okay, I see. I see.
Yeah, the lawyer.
Natalie Kawam, an attorney for the family, said, after having dealt with hundreds of reporters in my legal career, this is unfortunately the first time I have to go on record to call out Jeffrey Goldberg at the Atlantic. Not only did he misrepresent the conversation, but he outright lied in a sensational story. So that was from the lawyer of this family. If Trump had said that, or as well as the next quote we'll get to, the mainstream media would be screaming this from the rooftops and would have been for a very long time.
Yeah.
This would not be the first time we're hearing about this days before an election.
It'd be he's the white supreme pizza, the racism.
It's because their skin was a different color. That's why he said that. It's a Mexican. He don't like Mexicans.
Orange man bad.
He don't like anybody that don't look like him. These terminal TDS people, I swear they go downhill so quickly.
I think Jeffrey Goldberg's the racist. I think he really hates orange people.
I think you're right. I think you might be right.
He's racist against orange people.
Like Oompa Loompas.
Hey.
I love the Oompa Loompas.
I've been called an Oompa Loompa my whole life. I'm 5'6" and round.
Well, there you go. See, Jeffrey Goldberg don't like people like you.
Freaking red hair, and I'll be screwed, man. My life will be over.
See, he's racist towards people like you.
Oompa
Freaking propagandist. You actually do that way too well. Better than the new movie one. I was not a fan of that. Really screwed that up.
I don't think I watched the new one. I know I've seen the old one several times as a kid, but
well, there are two new ones. The one with Johnny Depp was trash. I mean, that was absolute garbage compared to the old one. But they tried to do a young Wonka. The concept was there. It was a decent movie, but I didn't like the way they did the Oompa Loompas. I really didn't. They looked very much like Trump.
The schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
There's no such thing as snozberries. Oh my dear.
What is this? Here's the other statement. I need the kind of generals that Hitler had. Basically, I'm going to go ahead.
Did Hitler have generals?
Yeah, of course he
did. Did he?
Of course he did. Yeah. He had a.
Were they called generals?
Military, I do believe so.
I don't know. I think they were called something else, whatever the German word for general might be, but
whatever the fuck you want to call them. But
the SS.
Yeah, the SS, but I'm sure there's a rank structure,
right?
You know, and that's what he was actually referring to is the higher rank structure,
the hierarchy.
Yeah, the rank structure.
That's what a hierarchy.
The military, you
right.
know, and what he was actually, I think, they were trying to make him say is that he needed loyalists. Actually, who was he wrapping himself with right now? I'm not at all faulting him for this.
Absolutely
because of the
not.
way he was treated during his last presidency and the people he surrounded himself with. That basically he was pressured to do so were such.
I was going to say got surrounded
shitheads.
Got surrounded by. I don't think he chose half of those that were surrounding him.
That sabotaged him any way they possibly could.
Look at the General Milley.
Yeah.
Isn't he the one that made the phone call, said if he does anything, that traitorous piece of shit?
Yeah. To China?
Yeah. Fucking treasonous, traitorous piece of shit is all that dude is. He needs to be swinging. Just for that right there that he did, in my opinion.
But understand that there's a lot of stuff. It's late in October. You're going to hear bullshit stacked on top of bullshit. This is going to be a bullshit club sandwich by the time this is done. This thing's going to be stacked so high you're going to need muck boots to walk through it.
Anybody who would,
it is going to be, and they're going to need to be freaking thigh high muck boots. You're going to need to have the suspenders with them.
Anyone who would trust the mainstream media after this, especially,
is
done. There's no saving these people.
Trump Russia. After Trump Russia, basically, your credibility was trash.
Gone.
Because everybody from the mainstream media to Congress to the Senate to every bureaucratic agency within the White House and the legislative and the judicial body all pushed this bullshit all at once. And I was like, wait a minute. And then Nazi Pelosi comes out and says, well, you know what a wrap-up smear is? And she explained it.
Right. Explain exactly how they did it.
It's like, oh, wow. Well, that is exactly what it was. It was a wrap-up smear. They told one news agency, which told another news agency, which told another news agency, which told another news agency. And all of a sudden it became true because, well, they kept saying it.
Isn't that Alinsky? Say it enough and they will believe it?
Yeah, somebody.
Rules for Radicals, yeah. Saul Alinsky, I believe.
Yeah, it's. I'm sure that's in that book somewhere. But you can imagine the world that we are currently living in right now is dangerous as shit. You have North Korea that is joining forces with Russia.
Allegedly, apparently. According to reports now, that's alleged. It's not official. Of course, we know what's happening. They're defecting left and right. That's how we know what's happening. I think it's funny as hell they're defecting the moment they get there. You
have friends, Iran and Russia are buddy-buddy.
Mm-hmm.
But you have Israel fixing to bomb Iran.
Yeah.
Straight to full-fledged war with Iran.
Bomb Iran. Bomb.
Hold on. You're driving me nuts here. Settle down. Simmer down. Anyway, you done fucked me up.
Payback's a bitch. But you got Israel and
we could get raked into the Ukraine, Russia, and then we could get that's another thing. The international panhandlers, Zelensky, we're sending him $400 billion more dollars.
Why? I
Why?
don't understand. What's the point?
Do you know that our national debt shot up like
again
$500 billion in the past 3 months?
Really?
3 months.
But remember, Trump was the problem.
Dude, we've got all these wars kicking off all at once over there, and shit is getting real.
And if you don't think this is staged, in my opinion, you're crazy. In 2015, in Obama's era, these were starting up. We've seen all of this starting. Trump comes into office, all of it ends. Biden comes back into office under Obama's reign, let's be honest. Again. Everything picks right back up where it left off.
Yeah, was Russia bombing the Donetsk region when Trump was in office?
He knew better.
No.
Trump told him, I will destroy those pretty domes if you do that.
Yeah.
I like them. They will be flattened.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. We are in very, very dangerous times internationally.
100%. Any little spark could be made to put us into a war at this point. There's so much going on.
And not only that, we are at the border of a collapse of our dollar because now you have Russia heading off a BRICS meeting that we just talked about last episode.
Right.
Heading off a BRICS meeting that they're convincing everybody in BRICS now
to dump the dollar.
To go ahead and divest from our dollar. We don't need it anymore. It is no longer going to be the world's reserve currency for energy. And guess what happens? All of a sudden, we have a supply of United States dollars that are being repatriated back into this country at such a rapid rate that we have hyperinflation.
Yes.
I'm expecting it right now. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm invested in gold and silver right now. I'm expecting gold and silver to shoot through the fucking roof. And every bank right now is investing in it.
Speaking of...
And that's not an advertisement for gold and silver, okay? Because I'm not going to tell you...
Yeah, you ain't throwing companies out and all that.
No. I am invested in it only because I see what's about to happen to our dollar. It is fixing to take a massive shit.
So it is your opinion only. You're not a salesman.
No, I'm not a
salesman.
Your
opinion.
This is my opinion. This is the way I
want to be very clear on this.
But if you devalue our dollar, and our dollar is not backed with gold and silver, it's backed by oil. And they are destroying our oil industry. The Democrats are destroying the oil industry.
Purposely.
They want to go green, right?
Right.
So...
another way to destroy this country.
You're destroying what backs our dollar.
Yep.
And then you're artificially creating more supply on top of a supply that's being pushed back into the country by other countries that no longer need it.
So we spoke of Hitler a moment ago. Do you remember what happened in
Weimar?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
That's where I was going. Yes.
Yeah.
If I were to go to the store to get a loaf of bread, how much money would I need? We seen them pushing wheelbarrows full of money to buy basic goods.
Yeah. How many people actually have wheelbarrows of money, though? There's going to be a lot of people on bread lines, and there's going to be a lot of violence because people are going to be hungry.
Which means you're going to have food riots, you're going to have government dependence, you're going to have a welfare state. Remember, 100%.
Here's what is said, and I kind of truly believe this stuff. We are 3 missed meals away from violence.
Yes.
Do you know how many meals do you think these grocery stores have for the population?
Not very many. Again, considering the size of the population, there's no way everybody could run and get what they needed.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you go into a store and you start looting TVs and you get heavily ventilated for it, because we have a dollar collapse, that's your problem. Honestly, canned goods, dried rice, dried beans, that kind of thing. Yeah, you'd be all right. don't go loot a TV, and don't buy up all the freaking toilet paper.
So how far out from this do you think we are? We know we got the election coming. It probably doesn't matter at this point who we vote for in relation to the inflation issue.
I think we have 2 months. I think right during Christmas. I think personally, in my opinion, we could see a United States dollar collapse, if not by March of next year.
Do you think it needs to happen?
I think there needs to be a correction. I don't think the stock market is where it should be. I think the stock market's being artificially propped up. I think there's no way that Main Street is boarding up its freaking windows at the same time the stock market is seeing banner
gains.
Gains. Yeah. There's no way. There is no way this stuff is not being artificially propped up. And I'm going to tell you right now, that might be where our debt is going. Into bonds and into the stocks.
I would almost bet at this point bonds and stocks is bonds mainly.
Because then they could, that's what part of what Biden is telling us is the stock market is doing so good. Our economy is great. What?
It's an illusion. He's trying to create an artificial illusion.
Do you really think? Yeah. I kind of put 2 and 2 together about 6, 7, 8 months ago.
Right.
That I think that's what they're doing with the money that they're printing is shoving it in the stock market to basically create an artificial economy that doesn't really exist, because the only jobs that are really being created right now are for illegal aliens and their government jobs.
And part-time. Remember, we seen that one report was mainly part-time jobs.
Bunch of part-time jobs.
Which is nothing. That's 20 hours a week, part-time, 30 hours a week.
That's nothing, man. That's not most people have to have 2 of those to survive.
Minimum, which makes a whole complete regular job. 2 parts make a whole.
So then you're contracting the economy even more.
Exactly. Do you think the Fed needs to fall?
Oh yeah. The federal government is supposed to be in charge of coin, not an individual agency.
That is no part of
government. That is Article 1, Section 8. It is in Article 1, Section 8.
Do you think we should have a new species, a new currency?
No. We've got a currency. And I'm telling you right now, we should not go crypto. I mean, crypto is fine. If you want crypto, it should be an alternate.
Agreed.
You should be free to invest in crypto.
Yes.
Freedom. Maximum absence of government coercion.
I was thinking something like a constitutional dollar or something.
Well, there should be a Federal Reserve. Well, a reserve note.
Right.
Sure. Why not?
Right.
A reserve note. And it should be backed by the faith of the federal government. But the problem is the faith of the federal government is completely lost.
See, that's where I disagree. I don't think we should be on a fiat system anymore. I think we should go back to a gold, full standard backed system. What's that?
We don't have enough.
Then silver. Then whatever we have enough of.
Silver is not.
But back it by a physical thing more than just the idea.
You know that gold right now is what, $2,500-$2,600 an ounce. Silver right now is at what, $31-$32 an ounce?
Really?
Yeah. But silver grows faster than gold. So basically silver is a poor man's gold. That's why I'm invested in silver.
Well, with technology the way it's headed, I assure you silver will be much more necessary in coming times.
Because of what the dollar is doing right now and inflation being what it is, you know that I made like $180 in silver over the last probably month.
Really?
And I didn't buy shit.
Right. That's just the
that's
valuation
the price
raise
going up. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. Thanks. At the same time, if we have this dollar collapse and the only people that are going to hold wealth are going to be the ones in precious metals. Because I'm going to tell you this too. Your precious crypto is in the shitter. Because there ain't nothing backing it.
Well, that's nothing backing our dollar. You said oil earlier. Oil doesn't back our dollar. Yeah. Our dollar is backed by the idea that our dollar is backed. That's it. It's backed by hope.
That's the thing. We had a petrodollar, and that's what it was backed with.
Right.
And that's kind of technically what it's still backed with. The problem is The current administration is attacking the oil industry.
The petrodollar and the fiat dollar are two different things, though.
Are they?
The petrodollar was the
are they?
world.
Really?
Yes,
Truly, are they?
yes.
How are they? What is it backed with? What is our real dollar backed with?
Prayers.
Exactly. So what is it backed with? The only thing it's backed with is oil.
On an international level.
And our GDP, but the problem is our GDP isn't.
So internationally speaking, yes, it's backed by oil, but you can't turn your cash in for oil here in America.
No, well, through investments, yeah, but I mean,
I can go put it in my gas tank. I mean, I can do it that way by paying for it just like I'd buy anything else, but I can't go to the government and say, here's this much, I want this equivalent of oil.
Actually, you can, and that's through just your oil investments, oil well investments. I can invest just like anything, but I can't. It's not backed by oil to the point that I can say, here, I want my oil. Yeah.
That'd be backed by oil.
Yeah.
If it was backed by gold, I could say, here, I want my gold, and they say, here's your gold. Right? That's backed by something. The fiat dollar is backed by the idea that we think it means something. That's it. Full stop. That's it.
Honestly, I think it is backed by a dollar, or by our oil. It's backed by our industry. In general, it's backed by our industry in general, but it is backed by oil.
Internationally, it is backed by oil.
It is backed by our industry in general, and right now our industry in general is down. And how do I know that? I know that personally because through the transportation, industry, as I've said, flatbed down 40-50%.
Right.
Reefer, which is refrigeration and van freight, is down a quarter.
Right.
Over the last 5 years.
All of it's down.
So if you look at that and you say volumes are down, rates are down, think about that. The economy is slowing. I see that in the transportation industry because the transportation industry is how it all gets there.
Right. That's the main way of the backbone of our economy. And that's what keeps it flowing.
If the transportation industry is dying, so is the retail. So is the wholesale. It all is dying right now.
Absolutely. And again, it's by design. Between the money situation, the looting, the immigrants,
the country.
A controlled decline of the country. And who is responsible for that? Is it Trump or is it the Democrats?
I'm not going to say Biden because Biden was never in charge.
The Democrats. I'm going with the full. Well, you've had Democrats in charge for 12 years, or 8 years out of 12, and Trump in charge for 4. But somehow everything is Trump's fault.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
Can you please make that make sense? They've screwed everything up, and they want to blame it on the one guy that actually fixed everything and stopped their screw-ups.
Yeah, but you see, that's the thing. They're using COVID as that weapon. He collapsed our, he collapsed this, he collapsed that. He had the worst, economy in the world. Well,
right.
Yeah, for freaking 4 months.
Thanks to COVID, and the Democrats didn't help by shutting down the whole damn country. I have a feeling that wasn't a Trump decision.
No, it wasn't.
By any means.
He wanted everything back.
As a matter of fact, he left that to the governors, and the governors proved themselves what they were about. I mean, most of them were. We got a governor that was semi-stupid. Here in Tennessee, he only shut it down for a short period of time. Idaho, it was pretty stupid.
Yeah, mixed feelings.
I lived in Idaho, so I can speak for that. But I'm glad you mentioned that because it reminds me, we almost forgot a story today, Bubba. We almost left it out of our notes. The story that I sent you earlier.
Uh-oh. I done forgot. I got the memory of a fruit bat.
The tabletop.
Right? Oh. Yeah. The whole tabletop exercise.
Yes. So this morning I got a Telegram message. I say Telegram message. He sends it out to all of his users. X22, one person I love listening to. I don't agree with everything he says. And that's one thing. I can listen to somebody without fully agreeing with them, right? But he sent out an article about a exercise, a cyber security exercise.
Kind of like Event 201?
Exactly. However, instead of COVID, this is going to take place on Election Day. A cyber attack, cybersecurity exercise on Election Day. Do you think they're trying to plan something?
Is it going to be an exercise or is it just going to be an attack?
Now, that's a good question. They're supposed to tabletop it and do all kind of different like scenarios and whatnot.
So
but
when all of the voting machines take a massive dump, it was a timer attack. We tried. No, you attacked us. Thanks.
Or Trump wins and they go back and say, "Oh, well, there was a cyber attack. See, this is what happened. We gamed it out so we can explain everything."
Yeah, they could do something like that. I mean, they're already kind of they're kind of seeding the water already for, it's going to take a few days to count it. No, fuck you, dude. You're going to cheat. You're going to print out more ballots once you realize that you fucking lost.
That's the only way they got. That's the only chance that they have of winning. Mm-hmm. Just like we seen in 2020 when we had the anomalous spike that has never, ever happened before. That's anomalous as hell. That is not natural. That is not normal. That is not organic. That is not real voters. Right? Every state they counted had those
when 114% of one district votes, you got a problem.
Exactly.
And they're already saying stuff about Maricopa County again, like they're going to play their screwed up games. They're already, starting to talk about it in Michigan.
What happens when you have 200% of American voting? 200%. Well, what happens when the numbers are that freaking stupid?
81 million my ass.
Exactly. Oh, man, I wish we had that song loaded up. That would have been good.
Yeah. So they're kind of seeding the water to let us know that, hey, we're going to have some problems during election time. No, they're playing their games. They're
talking about it now, we can let the people know.
They're going to cheat, people.
We can let them. And now when people see it, they're going to be like, wait, they talked about this before the election. Yeah. Wait, we seen this coming. Mm-hmm. Duh, this is what's happening. Clearly they're stealing. Clearly they're cheating. Whatever the case may be. Right? Yeah. And before we go, one last final announcement, one that I think you're really, really happy about. Go ahead with that.
Oh, yeah. Donald Trump is going to be on Joe Rogan Friday, October 25th. Y'all tune into that, man. That is going to be lit.
I'm a little upset. I'm going to be at work when that's on, so I'm going to have to watch that after the fact.
Oh, boy.
But that's going to be a good episode. I can't wait to hear what Joe's got to say.
Joe, I thought Joe said he was never going to have him on, and then he kind of had a change of heart once he realized that this is...
Well, didn't he have Kamala on? Or one of their...
I think he did
so, to be fair, he has to at least offer them both.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that way he's not saying one way or the other, right?
This is going to be lit, y'all. This is going to be crazy. I think some stuff is going to come to light that hasn't come to light yet.
You know what I'd like to see? Elon join the boys.
Oh, well, Elon's been on several times, and I think having Elon on Joe, I think kind of set that in motion to have Don.
I would love to have those three together on a podcast. That would be a conversation.
The thing is, yeah, I can see Elon. Well, I was not expecting it, but I can see it now. Elon smoking pot with Joe Rogan. Now it's like, yeah, okay, all right, cool. Elon smoked pot with Joe Rogan.
Right.
I don't see Donald Trump smoking pot.
You know, I wasn't even going to bring it up, but no, I was thinking it too. I don't see that. I don't think that's going to happen. I wonder if Joe's even going to light up at that point with Trump sitting right there, whether he offers it to him or not. I'd be scared to offer it to the man.
Well, I think he asks his people, hey, you want to smoke a cigar on during the podcast?
Oh, it's got to be,
hey,
yeah.
They cigars. I mean, he smokes cigars during the podcast. He smokes, he smokes pot during the podcast.
I mean, us having a podcast and what we do pre-show, there's a lot of conversation that goes on. Hey, you cool with this? Would this bother you? Is that bad? Is that, especially if you got a guest that you don't know everything about, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you got to kind of feel them out and see who they are, you know. And I think we know who Donald Trump is.
I'd still like to see those three on an interview together, though. I think that'd be great.
Oh.
But Joe Rogan, Donald Trump, October 25th, this coming Friday.
That's going to be lit.
Do you happen to know the time? I don't.
No, I don't know when he's on. No, I'd have to look. But
I guess whatever time Joe Rogan podcast comes on, I don't know if there's...
I usually watch the post recording, you know.
Right. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I would love to be able to have time to watch all these shows that people do. Mm-hmm. I catch snippets.
Dude, the thing is Joe Rogan's podcasts are 3 hours long, man. I mean, he doesn't have short little pops like we do.
Right.
You know?
It's harder to listen to a show like that.
Yeah, it really is.
It really is. As a matter of fact, at one point, I'll cut it here because we're starting to get off the rails a little bit, but at one point when I was doing radio, me and the producer at the time, we're discussing my shows were getting like 2 and 3 hours long because there's a lot to talk about, and we had to agree like an hour is the max for people. They're going to stop watching at an hour.
I'll tell you what, right now we're going to probably draw snippets from it and share them on our next show because I really want to share it with our people.
Oh, absolutely.
The highlights. We're gonna share some highlights.
And we'll be back. Sunday? We should be back here.
Absolutely.
Recording. So, huge shout out to all of our new listeners. I guess they got rid of some bot farms on X the other day.
Yeah, they killed about 80 people, 80 people out of our feed on X. So I'm sure some bots were following us. So say la vie, adios, farewell, au revoir.
But to all of our new listeners over on X and Rumble, shout out to you guys. We appreciate the hell out of all y'all.
Bless you guys. Thank you so much, and we'll see you later.
With that said, my name's Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf.
And you know who I am.
And this has been Censored Freedom.
Like, follow, comment,
subscribe, share,
do all that good stuff. Bless y'all. Thank you. Thank you.
Hakuna Matata, bitches.